Hello, beautiful beings of light. I hope everyone is well. I wanted to come on here today and just do a quick little energy check-in. We have this lunar eclipse that's happening today, at various different times depending on where you're located on the planet Earth. And there's a lot of chatter happening right now about these various different events in the heavens, and 1221 is another big one that I want to address as well. My team wanted me to explain that when I'm doing these energy reports, I'm coming from the perspective of tethering. And so if you haven't watched my video on tethering, I would highly recommend that you do that. It's long, but it's worth it. And essentially with the idea of tethering is that we are these, beings of light. We have this energetic signature, and the composite of this energetic signature is derived from the moment of our birth, which lays out kind of like a roadmap of the things that we are courted into and, what our specific mission and purpose is in life. And then each individual planet holds an energetic tether, and those planets will have a spectrum, and they have the highest all the way down to the lowest end of the spectrum of what that is meant to show us at any given time. More specifically, the moon holds our past and has the grid for the past, and the sun holds our future. And that is the direction that we are, always moving into. And all of our power comes from the now. And the moon is our subconscious beliefs. It's everything that's hidden and below the surface. So when these events happen in astrology, they are simply illuminating where you are still corded and tethered in. And with the moon events, they are illustrating or illuminating where you are tethered into the past. So where you're still holding subconscious beliefs, where you might still be corded and tethered from previous lifetimes, they are the things that are typically hidden, and they're brought to the surface when these different events occur. So I'm reporting from the perspective of tethering. And one thing that they wanted me to convey to you is that not to allow time-based prophecies to keep you from living. That many people look to these events as if something is going to happen externally in the mirror. And things are happening. More specifically on 1221, our bandwidth is going to increase. And right now, this lunar event is bringing to the surface the transmutation and transformation of lower vibrational energy tethers that we have collectively been holding, these collective wounds. The big theme for this lunar eclipse is the transmutation and healing of the distorted divine feminine. And things in the mirror have been getting a little bit cray-cray lately. And I myself am going to confess to you that twice now I have been hooked in and went completely unconscious into pendulums. Now, it serves a purpose, because once you wake up from that dream, you realize, oh, okay, the moon is illustrating to me where I am still corded and tethered in. And now, because of my free will, I can do something about that. I can bring awareness to it, and I can transmute that, because ultimately the power resides within, and the power resides from now. So we're not just floating along, completely at the whims of these tethers. No, we get to choose where we are corded into them. We are always expanding, whether we know it or not. The person that is exchanging energy with me right now is aware of their expansion, right? And they are consciously creating their reality, and they're choosing to raise their vibration. But all of the people that aren't aware of this, that don't know that they're creating their reality, that, you know, make up a portion of the collective consciousness, they're expanding too. They just don't know it. And their expansion is served by the cords and the tethers that come from our planetary system. You know, nothing happens by chance. There's all a big magical, you know, way of the universe working in symphony with every single facet and aspect. And and it's beautiful to behold. We are just blessed enough to be aware of these universal energies, and to, you know, be trying to, you know, curiously look at, okay, how does my world actually work? And, you know, how can I, you know, be the alchemist in my life? So, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, but yeah, that's the perspective that I'm coming from these cords and tethers. So the biggest thing to keep in mind, that there's a lunar event happening now, that there are shadow aspects of the distorted divine feminine that are coming up for transmutation and transformation. And to be on the lookout once you begin to control the narrative and the chatter reduces in your mind, and you are more the observer than you are not, when you're more awake than not, you are going to start having these aha moments. That is the other thing they conveyed. Look for insights and these aha moments. You know, if you do get swept into something, you'll rebound and you'll come out of it. Hopefully you won't get completely immersed or lost in it. And then you'll begin saying, wow, okay, this intense energy has really shown me where I still have these cords and tethers into the past, and now I can put that up for transmutation and transformation. So those are the big themes around today's energy. The other thing they've described this to me is ignition. And they showed me like a cannon, and, you know, the big wick on it was being lit. And so that is where we are moving into now. So remember, as on the 11/11, we moved into this 0 point energy where we're creating new templates. And on 12/21 is where we're moving into expansion. You know, that is when the wick is like, it's all the way there, and explosion time. We are now, you know, moving into these amazing expanded energies. But before that can happen, we need to finish off the convergence. We need to allow these timelines to collapse and to converge so that the bandwidth can expand on 12/21. And in between that time, I believe it's December 14th, or don't quote me on that, but they've made me aware that there is a solar eclipse. And that will be another point. And there's never an end, you know, either. But that will be another shift in the energies. There isn't going to be any kind of, you know, I think I've seen talking about like days of darkness or something. They've explained to me that the darkness is actually the void and the 0 point that we are in now. It's symbolic. It's a symbolic darkness. It's becoming safe in your body, and knowing that whatever is happening in the external mirror, no matter how dark or foggy that mirror may appear, that your vibration and what you're emanating is what is dictating your reality. And it's coming to that awareness and that knowingness. So yes, so right now we are in transformation and transmutation. We're moving into ignition. On the 14th, I believe, will be a solar eclipse. And from that point will be another mark in the change in the energies. And then on 12/21, we are moving into an expanded bandwidth. So there will be a higher resonant vibrational frequency available to those who choose it. I've also heard a lot of chatter about fourth and fifth dimension and, when are we moving into these? We are in fourth dimension. Now remember, dimensions, and I did a video on this, what is a dimension and why is this happening, is simply a point of perception. And in fourth dimensional consciousness, okay, there is still duality, there is still ego. It just moves to a spiritual way of looking at things. So you're now judging those who are awake and not awake, or, you see this now with the masking and the virtue signaling. It's a different feel. And also the thing to remember is that we have a vibrational signature that is composed of third, fourth, and fifth dimensional consciousness. We may have a belief system in one area that's 3D, and in another area that's 4D, and yet another in the 5D. And that composition of all of those belief systems is what makes up your dominant resonant frequency. So the hope with moving into fourth dimensional consciousness is that the collective, meaning more than 51% of the population, will move into a dominant resonant frequency of a 4.0. And so the goal and what's happening with these energies right now is to illuminate what's in shadow so that we can uncord and untether from the 3D tethers, the collapsing and the converging and the transmutation and transformation of 3D tethering, so that the collective can move into 4D. And we just need 51% to do that. And then that will pull the remainder of the people up. And that is the long and short of what is happening today and moving forward. Oh, and the other thing they wanted me to convey is that, these are just like marking points, that time is not linear. And so we talk about these dates. But if you're watching this and it's no longer the 30th of November, 2020, it is still applicable. Whenever you find this is when it's applicable for you. These are just ways in which we mark events. But the time is not, and it's from the timeline that I'm corded into. It's fluid, it's always changing, and it's not linear. And to keep that in mind, which is why they're really stressing not to live your life based on time-based prophecies. Everything's happening. It's going to continue to turn. Everything's working out. You are right where you're supposed to be. You're doing the work. You're beautiful beings of light, and everything is working to your advantage. And don't get triggered into these crazy cakes pendulums. I'm talking to myself right now as well, because it's now happened to me twice, especially with the holidays and all of this, what's happening, here in the United States, and definitely divine feminine distortion coming up. It's a lot. It's a lot. And so do what you need to do to stay safe in your body, to stay focused, to stay in the now, to be the observer, to get control of the narrative, and just breathe. Just breathe. It's all going to be okay. Oh, and the angelic realm and Rhea, my higher self, they speak to me through poetry. So they wanted me to read this to you. So I'm going to read this to you now. It says, this is from my team. Forget the past, onward to the future, flowing facets of brilliant fractals like diamond dust, rainbow colors bright and robust, constant as the breath, as the beating of the heart. Life is the now, is the creation of art. I just thought that was really cool. Life in the now is the creation of art. So I hope you guys create something amazing and beautiful today. I've been totally in this, creative space. I love creating for the holidays. And if you're not on my Facebook blog, please follow me there. I have been trying to come up with an idea for what to do for all of my beautiful beings of light. And I came up with like the cutest gingerbread man little ornament, or you can put him on your like wind mirror in your car. And I was creating him last night. So I will post pictures of that either probably tomorrow once I have him all sealed up and glossy on my Facebook blog. So you can find me there if you go to Facebook and just type in at Beautiful Beings of Light. That will take you to my Facebook blog. And please don't forget to subscribe and comment and all that jazz. It really means a lot to me. And it's a really wonderful exchange of reciprocity and energy. So I know that somebody out there is watching this. I love you guys so much. Bye.